What's going on, guys? I'm IcyRhythms. Welcome back. And in this video, just more or less a follow-up to my videos from some months ago where I talked about hashtag not my Fallout, Bethesda ruined Fallout, and as it stands right now, that really hasn't changed. And a lot of the things I said in those videos, I'm probably going to say again in this video. And, you know, the responses that I got for those videos was interesting. It was quite the mixed bag, I would say. You know, you had diehard Bethesda fanboys or Fallout fanboys, you know, really, they definitely weren't on the fence. It kind of seemed like their mind was already made up, but I am not one to say, yeah, I'm not one to rub it in, okay? I'm usually not one to rub it in, even though it is kind of fun sometimes, and say, I told you so. But in this case, I told you so. And again, we need to make it clear that I'm not trying to take anyone's fun away from Fallout 76. If you've pre-ordered this game, you're still really excited, you played the beta and you had a lot of fun, and you still can't wait for this to release, hey, that's great. I'm not, you know, what you do with your money, what you find fun, no one can take that from you. I'm just saying that from where I'm sitting, and I think I do speak for a lot of people, I don't know if those people are the majority, but I do think I speak for a lot of people when I say this is a disaster. It is still a shit show. This game is not what Fallout is, and it's clear to see. When I see responses from people telling me that I've pissed them off, it is kind of funny, but at the same time I feel like, man, if they came away from this video pissed off or, you know, even extremely happy in some way for whatever reason, I feel like I've failed as a Fallout fan. I failed fellow Fallout fans making that video because I want you to think a little bit like, hey, maybe this guy's right, or at the very least, you know, maybe he is onto something. I'll wait and see what happens, research a little bit more. But again, it's an I told you so kind of thing. We've seen impressions now. A lot of the more well-known, bigger internet personalities have had a chance to play this game, whether they're Twitch streamers or some of the guys on YouTube, and some of them are not happy with what they've played. This is not a great experience for them. I feel like a lot of them probably want to say more than they're actually saying. They're trying not to be too Debbie Downer about it. They're trying not to be too negative Nancy, because some of them get free games and beta codes and stuff like that from some of these companies, and they don't want to burn that relationship. So I feel like some of them are being a little bit too nice, while at the same time I think being fairly critical as well. And it just doesn't look good for Fallout 76. And again, I am speaking from a place of a single player gamer, a guy that prefers single player gaming over everything else, that wants good storytelling, and in my Fallout games, really good RPG elements. I really don't feel like I'm asking for too much. I feel like I'm not the only one asking for these things. And they spent, what, 3 or 4 years on this game, and you know, we got that whole thing about they completely reworked the engine for a game like this to work on it. And hey, that's great, you know? That's a lot of fancy talk, and I'm sure, you know, the development process probably wasn't easy with some things, especially on this engine. And in some ways, you know, the game, from what I've seen, just being honest, I am being fair, I do feel like it has some charm to it. I feel like it has, from like an interface standpoint, I feel like it has more charm than Fallout 4, probably the other Fallout games as well, as it should, as a game that's come out many years later from those games. But it's still very disappointing. And, you know, again, while I did receive some level-headed responses on some of those older videos, some of you just got a little bit out of control, and I hope now that maybe some of you have had a chance to play the beta, or, you know, do a little bit more research and see some of the impressions and stuff, you see what I'm talking about. Some of you see that you were wrong, telling me to, oh, just wait and see. We don't even know much about this game yet. We don't really have a lot of gameplay or anything. You're just making excuses. You guys were in denial. I tried to tell you. You didn't want to listen. You were coming from a place of, if you came to the video as a Fallout fan, but then once you listen to the video a little bit, you're like, I'm just gonna hate on this guy for the sake of hating because I love Bethesda or I love Fallout or both. And you were wrong for that. And again, I feel like because that was your takeaway, that I was just some hater, instead of getting you to think a little bit, I feel like I failed. I failed as a Fallout fan, as a content creator. I failed if you're not gonna watch those videos and think to yourself, I don't know, you know, this guy's on to something. He's played Fallout 3, Fallout New Vegas. I tried to play some of the older games. They're not really for me, but I can also understand now where some of those people were coming from, those that loved Fallout 1 and 2 when Bethesda made the move to Fallout 3, and then Obsidian, of course, with New Vegas. But even some of those people really, really, really love New Vegas. They're like, hey, you know, it's not Fallout 2, but Fallout New Vegas is still a very good game. And I respect that. You know, it's like, maybe it's a nostalgia thing, maybe it's not. It doesn't matter. The fact is, I respect that, and they don't have to like or love New Vegas the same way some of us do. It's not about that. I don't think it would be fair for me to say that Bethesda is completely incapable of making great games anymore, because I don't feel that way. I genuinely don't feel that way. I really feel like this company is still capable of making great games. But right now, they're in that D list. If I was handing out grades, they're in that D list. Probably leaning more toward a D minus even. But if Starfield can be great, you know, I can get them in the C, maybe C minus category. And then if Elder Scrolls 6 is amazing or something, we can get them back to a B, possibly. And then, you know, in 8 to 10 years when Fallout 5 releases, we'll see what happens with that game. Maybe I can put them back to an A or something, or maybe give them a B plus just to be nice and say, okay, maybe they're back on track now. But I don't know what that's going to take. But as much as I respect some of the things that he's done, and I do think he's a pretty charismatic guy, I think Todd Howard needs to go, or at least have, I don't know what the actual development process is, but it seems like he has a lot of the creative control over things and probably has the final say on a lot of things. Maybe not everything, but a lot of things. And I think he needs to go. I don't think that this is his place anymore. For those that, you know, still work at Bethesda and want to make great games, and especially great RPGs, Todd Howard should probably go, in my opinion. I mean, some of you probably disagree with that. He's accomplished a lot, don't get me wrong, but I think his time is up if they want to get back to making great games, because his idea of what makes a great game in 2018, or even in some ways the disappointment that was Fallout 4. Fallout 4 can be a lot of fun. I think you can pour a lot of hours into it, but you could see the writing on the wall with Skyrim and just sort of the direction that they were taking with their games. And I wanted to be in denial. I used to defend this company. I used to be some of the people in my comment section that left nasty comments and telling me to just wait, and I don't know anything about what I'm talking about. The game hasn't come out yet. We haven't seen gameplay, the usual stuff. And now we have. And while the game hasn't fully released yet, we don't know where Fallout 76 will be in 6 months to a year. Probably a much better state, a much better overall game, a much better overall experience than when it launches. And I'm not just talking about bugs and things like that, but just more content, more things to do, an actual end game. It seems like that's a big thing for a lot of content creators that have played it here on YouTube or Twitch, is like, hey, like what's the end game here, Bethesda? Like what is there to look forward to after I've, you know, sort of done everything else? Because from what I'm seeing and what they're seeing, those that are actually playing it and still have a little bit of hype for it, that's one thing I think everyone can agree on, is what is the end game here? Like what do we have to look forward to once we've put 50, 60, 70 hours into this game? So that's something to keep in mind as well. But just to go back to what I was saying at the start of this video and some of my other videos, No one is trying to take your fun away from Fallout 76. I have a couple of friends that are really excited for Fallout 76. One of them streams on Twitch. He's a really cool guy. It's not like we're not gonna be cool because he's gonna play Fallout 76 and I'm gonna stand on the sideline and complain about the things that I'm gonna complain about. It's not like that, I'm not trying to take his fun away. In fact, I plan to watch his stream any chance I get to see how he's enjoying it. I can't speak for him so much because I didn't really get to catch his beta footage, but some of the other people I've watched stream Fallout 76, even those that I like, they seem bored to tears. Like, the look on their face is just a look of complete boredom, like they're not having any fun. I just don't know about this game, and I guess we won't know until it actually releases, but I don't think it looks good, guys. If you're a big Fallout fan, I'm still sticking with, research, wait a little bit, see about this game. I know some of you Fallout diehards, you just gotta have it. It's Fallout, probably got the collector's edition and all that. I get that. I get it. I feel it, but I would say wait, because you don't know what the end game is. You don't know if this game will even be supported in 6 months to a year, because if it doesn't do that well, and I gotta be honest, again, it's not really looking good right now. If it doesn't really do that well and the community is dead in, a few months or something, especially considering this game is not coming to Steam, so that's gonna be a big thing for the PC community. I think that's gonna really hurt. I guess that remains to be seen, but I would wait. I would wait, save your money, see what people are saying about it, and see what your friends are saying about it. Those that you trust most. If you don't trust critics, then wait and see what your friends that also love Fallout are saying about it, and maybe wait until they've put 20-30 hours into the game, and then if you're satisfied, if you're sold, then go and buy the game. I'm just trying to help out. I can't tell you what to do with your money, but I'm trying to be helpful and trying not to fail you in this video. Thank you guys for watching. I really do appreciate it. Again, not one for the I told you so stuff. Not all the time, but I told you so with Fallout 76. Just to close out, if I was guessing a Metacritic score, I'm gonna say that Fallout 76 finishes somewhere between a 65 and a 73 on Metacritic. I cannot see this game getting somewhere between like an 84 and a 90 or something. I just can't see that. But if it can reach like 76 or 78 or something, that's usually the mark of a game that might be pretty good or a little underrated, even like some of my favorites this generation. So we'll see. Thank you guys again, all the continued support. Go check out my last videos on this topic. Links in the description, or I can use them as end screens. You guys are great. Take care. Peace.